A long time ago on this show, I burnt a picture of D&D. This was to show my disappointment in the failing quality of what was once my favourite show. And considering the D&D have just burnt 7 years of character development, of intellectual writing, of well thought out, complex character dynamics for random spectacles, for stupid action schlock, for shock value and nothing else, then I feel like that clip would be a fitting intro to this episode.
Come see my cage, built in my grave. Come see my cage.
So Daenerys is killed off here in this episode for conspiring to put Jon on the throne. He's always been portrayed as a highly intelligent political saboteur, someone who was so good at manipulating political situations that he was able to sit on the Lannisters' court in King's Landing for so long without being noticed when he was trying to throw power and change up who was the king. But here he just blurts out his intentions in an unintelligent manner because it's the second last episode and he needs to die here. Okay. Even if a show directly addresses a character's stupidity, it doesn't change the fact that Jaime shouldn't have been so stupid to wear his gold hand and get caught. When has stupidity ever been one of Jaime's character traits? Never!
How did they find you? Did you consider taking it off?
Jaime and Tyrion's last interaction was actually moving. It was an odd reminder that these characters once had emotional depth way back in the first 4 seasons.
You were the only one who didn't treat me like a monster.
So Dany attacks the Iron Fleet, and for some reason Euron is not manning the Scorpion, even though he's an unbelievably good shot. So last episode, a dragon was killed with ease by one of the Scorpions. Now it's impossible for the dragon to even get close to being hit. I realized the last dragon, it wasn't being flown by Dany, wasn't aware of the incoming threat somehow, couldn't see the boats. I don't fucking know. But if there's no threat to the dragons and there's no stakes, there's no suspense, there's no involvement, the audience doesn't care. Okay, the dragon's invincible now. Alright, I'm not involved. I don't care. The Golden Company is defeated. King's Landing has been taken. The Night King was killed with one blow. All these monumental moments that should have carried weight were so easy to accomplish. I can't believe all our characters tried so long to do all of this when it was so easy. We've done it. It was all so easy. Fuck you! You can't kill all of the Dothraki in episode 3, then have them all back in episode 5. If that's the case, then nothing means anything. Nothing has any stakes. Why get involved? Nothing means anything. This is all just bullshit. A long night, what did it mean? Nothing. What consequences did it have? Nothing. What impact did it have? Nothing. What did the Night King mean? Nothing. How easy was it? Incredibly. What does all this mean? Nothing. Why do I care? I don't! The sets, the cinematography, the stunts, the special effects, it's all amazing here. But all of that is in place to serve the story. And if the story sucks, then none of it means anything. It's not going to immerse or engage an audience. It's just visuals for the sake of visuals. And now we get to the most insulting moment in Game of Thrones history, and there's been a few. Dany isn't crazy. She's not the Mad Queen. She's been portrayed as caring and compassionate. A lot of time with her has been spent with her trying to save slaves, with her protecting the innocents, with her going out of her way to make the world better. That's her character. That has always been her character. Dany has had some dark moments. She's done some brutal things, but so has Jon. He hung Ollie. Jon's not crazy. Dany's not crazy. These people have been set up for 8 seasons, and for Dany just to randomly start murdering all the innocents at King's Landing makes no sense for her well-established character. It's not in line with her motivations. It's just spectacle for the sake of spectacle. The Red Wedding made sense. The outline of all the motions and all the moving pieces, when it was executed, it made sense. It made sense for Walder Frey to align with the Lannisters and kill Robb. That made sense. Dany doing this doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not her fucking character. I feel really bad for Emilia Clarke. I feel really bad for Dany's character. It's just like D&D just fucking destroying her character for no reason other than random spectacle and action schlock sequence. I could understand if Dany destroyed King's Landing because she had to, because Cersei forced her hand, because there was no other way to beat Cersei, but she'd already won. She'd already got the exact thing that she'd worked towards for 8 seasons. It was in the palm of her hand. Sure, Missandei and her dragons have died, but that doesn't justify her actions. It doesn't seem realistic. She's not crazy. You can't just not be crazy for 7 seasons and all of a sudden be crazy. The Mad King was always fucking crazy. He was a psychopath. He had a underdeveloped prefrontal cortex. I mean, he was like Ted Bundy. He was fucking mad. That's not Dany. That's not what you've shown us for fucking 78 hours. Now you fucking do this? It doesn't make sense. We don't even get any close-ups of Dany while she's torching King's Landing, while she's burning all of the people. I want to see her face. I want to see her reaction. I want to see her motivations. I want to see what's making her do this, because I don't fucking understand it. A, it doesn't make any fucking sense for a fucking character at all. It's just like D&D, just like, alright, let's have this moment because it'll be a big impactful moment, I guess, even though it wasn't, because I was just broken completely from my immersive state, thinking, what the fuck is happening? Why is she doing this? What? Just like, we want this moment to happen, so it will happen. We won't worry about the character, or what the character stands for, what her story has been. Because Dany's story has been saving slaves. It's been freeing innocents. It's been working towards making Marine and Slavers Bay a better place. If they wanted to do the Mad Queen storyline, that's fine. You can do that. That's a cool storyline. But you haven't done that. You need to do that from season 1. You need to see her slow descent and disintegration into the depths of insanity and madness. But you haven't fucking done that. That hasn't been Dany's story for 7 seasons. What, you just killed Missandei last episode and now you're like, it's all justified. It all makes sense. Now Dany's a mindless murderer. No! She's not! She's fucking not! Also, this whole fucking episode, I was just seeing Dragon's Fire make ships explode. Just turn stone into fucking sand. It cuts off one of the spires of King's Landing and makes it fall. It just destroys bricks. It explodes house. Dragon Fire is fucking fire. It doesn't make shit explode. If you blow a flamethrower on a tree, the tree doesn't explode. It burns. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, sure, a dragon's magic and Dragonfire's magic, but a dragon breathes fire. It doesn't shoot fucking missiles. The fucking buildings should have caught on fire. The wall should have caught on fire. The castle at King's Landing, it should have caught on fire. It shouldn't have fucking exploded. That is so illogical. How does fire destroy stone. It doesn't, it burns it. They could have done all of this with her just burning the streets, but no, they had to make everything fucking explode. Dragonfire had to cut towers down. If you get a flamethrower, okay, a giant flamethrower, and you fucking run it across the side of a skyscraper, it won't cut into the skyscraper. The skyscraper will just burn from the fire. So Euron is on a boat and it explodes. He jumps in the water and he swims to shore, and just conveniently Jaime's there, because you know that's what this show is now, action schlock conveniences, just to give cheap payoffs to the audience. I mean, it makes no sense. If you look at the first 4 seasons and these amazing books, which, you know, I really hope that this fucking pus doesn't take away from George R.R. Martin's great work. Okay, Song of Fire and Ice was probably the best series I've ever read. It's fucking amazing. It's well thought out, it's intelligent, it's logical. So much time and effort has gone into how everything works, and the world, and the rules, and the characters. And for people to watch this and think that it has anything to do with Martin, or anything to do with this series, or anything to do with the books, is just really sad. I mean, I know Martin's sitting at home somewhere eating nachos, a lot of nachos, and just like, oh, fuck. I hope they don't think this is me. I mean, honestly, in a way, I think it'll kind of be liberating for him to be like, oh shit, they fucked this up, but at least I'm gonna make my books amazing. And I can't wait for the next 2 books. They're gonna be fucking incredible. And I don't think he's gonna die before then. Sure, he's morbidly obese, but he's only 50 or 60. I have hope. You can make it, Marty. You can make it. Just go to yoga and maybe stop eating so many Doritos. But anyway, my point is, Euron's convenient fucking entanglement with Jaime's entrance into the Red Keep, it doesn't align with the first 4 seasons of the show, with all these like chess pieces moving for a reason, moving in a certain way, moving because of character motivations or because of story moments. It's just like, hey, we want this interaction, so we'll force it to happen because we think the audience wants to see this interaction. I don't want to see this interaction. I don't care about Euron. He's a shitty character. You fucked him up. I like Jaime. Sure, I like Jaime. Jaime gets stabbed like twice by this big long sword, like this fucking deep, and he's just like walking around. Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe he should have died earlier. Let's just talk about the Jaime Cersei ending too. I mean, sure, it was poetic in like a grade school C- English assignment kind of way. I mean, was it satisfying? No, not really. I didn't feel that much. It's poetic, I guess. They're in each other's arms and they die together, just like they came into this world together. But I mean, considering the amount of time that we've spent with these characters, I should have been way more involved. I should have been devastated at these characters' deaths. But I wasn't. I was just like, okay, they're dead. And also, does Jaime returning to Cersei undo his redemptive arc? I don't know, maybe. I mean, his character has evolved and moved on and progressed and done all these things. And for him to go back to Cersei now does seem like he's kind of regressing. But I mean, people do that in real life. People do kick heroin for 10 years and then go back to the heroin. I mean, obviously Jaime knows that Cersei is destructive and she's bad for him, and in the end it was his doom, and I'm sure he was aware of that, and he has evolved and moved on and learnt as a character. But in the end, I guess he just couldn't stop booting up Cersei. As with Jaime, I feel like the Hound's regressed some B-movie action schlock guy. His moment with Arya was touching. What he said was true. It did make sense. I did feel something. But the Hound, why would he just think that revenge is his only option? Why hasn't he progressed or moved on or evolved as a character? from what we've seen of him and what he's done, I don't think that this would be his sole motivation. I think this was just D&D wanting some action schlock sequence. Clegane Bowl. I don't give a fuck. It's action, it's boring, it's stupid, he's a zombie. Okay, I wanted more from the Hound. I wanted emotional depth. I wanted his character to realize that he was better than the Mountain, that he could have done more with his life. I wanted him to move on and get a little house and start a family. I wanted his character to progress. I didn't want him to just be like, I know I've learned so much and done so many things, but in the end it all comes down to me killing my brother. Really? Really? How long ago did he burn your face? Like 35 years ago? I mean, honestly, man, I don't think it really matters that much, eh? You need to move the fuck on with your life, and I feel like the Hound had enough depth to do that, but they didn't fucking do that. We got some action sequence. Okay. It's like Fast and the Furious, it's like Transformers at this point in time. I mean, honestly, I don't care. I would have much rather to see the Hound's character do something, progress, move on to the next stage of his life and realize that this pointless revenge thing actually doesn't mean anything. Your brother's a cunt. Alright, let him be a cunt. Also, we've seen the Mountain smash like 3 or 4 heads at this point with ease. Oberyn, fucking, what's his name? The guy he just did in this episode, fucking Qyburn. There was some guy chucking a piss, he just smashed his head. But then when he fights a Mountain, all of a sudden he can't smash his head. Why? Plot armor? Spectacle? Because the script said so? Yeah! This is really fucking garbage, eh? What is the point of full plate armor if you can just stab right through it? Full plate armor stops swords. That's why people wear heavy armor to weigh down their actions, because there's a benefit to that cost. Because you can't run somebody through who's wearing a fucking full plate fucking armor breastplate that's probably like this fucking thick because the Mountain's a monster. Why don't they show the devastation of the dragon on King's Landing from Jon's perspective? Why is Arya here? Why the fuck did she kill the Night King? She was an interesting character. When I read the books and watched the first 4 seasons, Arya was one of my favorite characters. But it's just like they didn't know what to do with her. Her storyline ran out. She just quit her fucking trade. Her fucking apprenticeship at whatever, the fucking Faceless Men Academy, and they're like, what do we do with her now? I don't know. We can just interject her into Jon's storyline and rob him of his filling conclusion. Maybe she killed the Night King. No one will fucking see that coming. No one can see that coming because it doesn't make fucking sense because it hasn't been fucking set up! What happened to the archetypical hero's journey of Jon, him completing his arc and becoming king and murdering the Night King? Why don't we see him running around with all these innocents? That would be a motivator for him next episode to kick Dany off the fucking throne. But no, we see Arya because the audience loves her. Fan service. I loved her too, but fuck, she hasn't done anything for a while, eh? And now she's just being fucking forcefully jammed into other people's storylines. Get in there, you'll fit, this piece will fit. I feel like the sequence with Arya and the horse was actually really encapsulating of the entire episode and season, and I guess last season too. It looks amazing. I mean, it's so beautiful. It could be a painting. I mean, you look at any number of freeze frames of that sequence, you're like, wow, that's incredible. Like, I would pay for some guy to do an oil painting of that and hang it on my wall. But what does it mean? What is it in service of? It feels like it's symbolic of something. pale horse in the destroyed city with Arya slowly moving up to it. But it's not symbolic of anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just good-looking visuals with no depth or no meaning. Just like the rest of this fucking trash.
We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war.
In conclusion, sitting down and watching this, I was actually really surprised at how bad the writing was. I mean, it's been clear to me for some time that the majority of the success of this show was because they were based on Martin's books, and the D&D couldn't carry the show on their own shoulders when they were coming up with original material. But this was like the next fucking level. What was the fucking 6th episode of the last season when they go over the wall and it's like all that bullshit? That was another notch. It's like, oh, we're getting this bad? I didn't think they could get worse than that. And they went this far. I mean, Dany's character, I can't believe that they've done that. It's not set up, it doesn't make sense, it's not earned, it has no impact because you're just like, wait, what? Why is she doing this? And the rest, all the other story threads that have been wrapped up after 8 years was either done too quickly, rushed, no depth, no meaning, with just fucking good looking visuals. That's all this is. A show that looks good, but has no meaning or depth. And in the beginning, all it was meaning and depth. Ah, it looked good back then actually too. Alright, thank you for watching. Really help out if you could go onto the internet and badmouth D&D. I really feel like I need to burn something here to symbolize the destruction of Game of Thrones. But I don't want to burn this book because fucking George Martin! He wrote this book. I don't want to burn this. This is great. This is fucking amazing. You know what's terrible? The show. I don't have it on DVD, so I can't burn the DVD. I can't do anything. I can't even burn anything. Yeah. Alright. Go fuck yourselves.